Good afternoon to you, man. All the way, George Page, coming to you live on YouTube. Anyways, often I was going to try to talk about a certain person in our in history that represents our community, and we need to acknowledge people like this because you know these people, they represent the strides that our people have gone to in America, and it's only fair that this lady here needs to be acknowledged. And this is one Miss no, I'm sorry, Miss Nina Hudson Turner. And Miss Turner is a former United States Senator, and she represented the state of Ohio, and she represented her city, Cleveland. Now you might know Miss Turner. You've seen her on news. She's very political, and she stands, especially when it comes down to black issues. And often you see her, especially when it comes down to situations such as Black Lives Matters, racism, and also other things that involves black people, and also just generally anything that matters in the general living of American citizens. Now, Miss Turner is a native of the city of Cleveland, Ohio. Now, she was born to teen parents, and by the time she was 5 years old, her parents split up. Now, when she was 14, Miss Turner was working as part-time jobs at time, helping her mom with the household. By 1986, Miss Turner was she graduated from JFK High School in Cleveland. And instead of continuing her education, Miss Turner took on many jobs from fast food to working at a Payless store. And while at Payless, she met her husband, Jeff Turner Sr., and and she went back to school to earn an associate in arts and degree from a community college. Now, the same community college where she now is associate professor of history. In '92, Miss Turner's mother's died. Miss Turner's mother's dies from a long struggle with blood pressure. And that's the thing with our community. Blood pressure is a bad thing. I deal with it. My family has dealt with it. It's, you can say it's food, genetics, anything, but it's just so many combination of things. Now, Miss Turner completed her degree, followed by a Bachelor of Arts degree in history, and then a Master's of Degrees in '97 from the Cleveland State University. By 2001, Miss Turner was a legislative aide under the state senator Ryan McLean. She later returned to Cleveland to serve in the administration of Mayor Michael White, where she got promoted to executive assistant of legislative affairs, and she also was a lobbyist on behalf of the um, Cleveland's school children at the state and federal level as directors of government affairs for the Cleveland Metropolitan District. By 2001, Ms. Turner ran for the city council but lost to Joe Jones. By 2004, Mr. Jones resigned his council seat, and his wife, Tanya Jones, was the top vote getter in September in a nine nonpartisan primary race to select a candidate to fill the Jones seat. By 2005, Ms. Turner defeated Ms. Tanya Jones to become the council member for the Ward 1, the first black woman in the seat. Now, Ms. Turner served on the council from 2006 to 2008. Now, March the 6th, 2006, she went to Oxford, England to participate in a invitational only Oxford Round Table, which is not affiliated with the university. It was a gathering of the scholars coming together to discuss diverse issues of the world. Now, September of 2008, Senator Lance um, Mason resigned his seat of the Ohio State 25th District, and he took the position. He took another position. Miss Turner was anonymously selected by the Ohio State Democratic Caucus to serve the remainder of Mason's Senate term. So she resigned her city council seat to accept the appointment on September 15th of 2008 for the 128th General Assembly. Ms. Turner served as the ranking minority member on the Senate Highway and Transportation Judiciary Criminal Justice and Community um, Community. By Johnson, she won a full term running unopposed, and she was elected by as the minority whip, meaning that she everybody had to vote whatever way the party was supposed to vote, meaning that hey, that's the thing called the whip. It means that what it is. Now, with the controversy of the political agendas, the conservatives attempted to restrict women's access to contraceptive and abortion around March of 2012. Ms. Turner introduced a bill to regulate men's reproduction health. Under her proposal, all men have to get a notarized affidavit signed by a recent sexual partner stating that he is sexually impotent, seeing that he saw a sexual therapist, and taking a cardiac stress test before any doctor gives them any kind of ex, 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 what's the best word I say? Ex, um, dysfunctional, basically, so she's saying, I'm not gonna say the fancy word. She's saying that before you ever get a prescription for some dick pills, you gotta get a doctor's note, and you gotta jump some hoops. And that's what it is. That's what just basically you gotta get a doctor's note, and you gotta get an affidavit from the last person you were with before you get some dick pills. That's what she's saying. Now her plan was to be a simpler legislation that was written by the male legislators to resistance against women's reproduction health. Now, Ms. Turner was equally concerned that men's reproduction health. Now, the plan was that these conservatives want to control women's right to abortion. And here's like this. This is why I believe. If women want to have abortion, that's their right. I know people who've been with people that don't want to have kids with them. And I hear people talking about how they're saying like, well, you shouldn't have abortion. You shouldn't be there. Number one, many of these guys who are big time against abortion, most of them would take if their daughter got pregnant or their mistress got pregnant, they're the first ones who take them to a abortion clinic to get rid of the baby. And I don't hear somebody talking about some bull crap about, oh, they take the baby, get them aborted like no. There's no doctors that would do that. No doctors ever do that. It's no different from if you have a tumor. A doctor would not abort a child if there's a heartbeat and there's lungs. There's a difference. And you don't want to go back to days where women were going in the back alleys and using coat hangers and doing that and killing themselves or even killing or me not even have babies. That's just stupid. People use common sense, and that's why if I was saying like this, most politicians do like this. Abortion, that's a choice of a person. That's none of the government's business. That's the problem with some people. You can't control what people want to do. But anyway, let's go back to this. Now, the FDA also recommend that doctors make sure that the right steps are taken to assess the nature of symptoms of the physical and psychological. Ms. Turner not only wanted to stir up men's health, but take it seriously as well as trying to stop men from trying to push legislation to control women's womb. But she knew It wouldn't never pass, but it was something just to get attention to how people should have the right to, to control their own bodies. And she knew that it was just basically that's what it is. Just telling the government to mind your own damn business, you know, and that's what this is about. And I was talking with a friend of mine about this, and she just, what she was saying was just ridiculous. But I believe like this: whatever you do, that's your business. It's nobody else's. That's about it. Now, on 2014, Miss Turner unsuccessfully, tried to change Ohio's rape custody law. It gives visitation and custody to men who fathered children via rape or sexual assault. Ms. Turner wanted to protect both rape victims and their children by preventing rapists from having parental custody rights. She felt it may be difficult for anyone who was raped, to want to share custody of a child conceived from the rape. Her and another fellow Dem introduced a bill which would allow the rape victims to file proper papers to terminate the attacker's parental rights. It also permits the mother to put the child up for adoption with the permission of without the permission of the attacker. And that's true. I mean, you don't. This is you think about it. You don't want to build this person, and this person, and just especially some of these guys. Some of these guys can be psychos. You got to deal with this person, and he's in prison, or sometimes he can get out. The last thing you want to do is deal with someone like this, and this is traumatic for some of these women. And sometimes women don't want to deal with this child. There's been cases where some women have raised the child that was the product of the rape, but sometimes some don't want to, and they have the right they want to get a child up. That's their right. Now, on 2013, Miss Turner declared her candidacy for the Ohio Secretary of State, and gets represented John Host and former President Bill Clinton through his support behind her. But Miss Turner lost to Host, and she proceeded in the election. Miss Turner supported former First Lady Hillary Clinton for her election for president in 2016 for the Democratic nomination, but she switched to Bernie Sanders. But instead, Miss Clinton won the nomination, but Miss Turner, was invited by Jill Stein to become the Green Party's nominee for vice president, but she turned down the invitation. In 2016, Miss Turner became the president and public face of the R Revolution. It was a progressive and political action organization that grew from the Bernie Sanders 2016 presidential campaign. On December 2016, she served as a member of the DNC Unity Reform and Commission in D.C. to examine where the process needs to be to reform after the 2016 election. Meaning, as you know, how Donald Trump won the election by electoral vote, which Hillary Clinton got the popular vote. And the electoral vote is the vote where the politician picks the president. And even if the people who voted for the president, it should be the people's choice. We're the ones who vote for the president, but politicians get to choose. And we know that's just and for years I think there's been talk that we should get rid of the electoral college. There's no point for it. We should get rid of it. It needs to go. So, anyway, in 2016, according to the the May 18 review, the political revolution had become failing and disarray in a year of the leadership. By May, the organization monthly disarray and by where 1/3 was of it, the group, and then the operation is mostly is support of Bernie Sanders, but they didn't did enough because they didn't, they couldn't swing enough support for Bernie Sanders for, for 2016 election. So the swings to help for the Democratic election. So also the issue that the organization felt Miss Turner might have been planning to make her own run for the presidency. Now by 2019, you know, Bernie Sanders, he was, he decided to run for president again, and Miss Turner was named co-chair for Bernie Sanders' 2020 election. Now, in 2019, she was also CNN with some female campaign managers in New York City. You know, and she also dropped out of the also Bernie after Bernie dropped out of the race. Miss Turner also worked with public affairs called a more public partnership and with the Mercury Public Affairs on September 20. And this December she was represented. She was also considered to enter the race for Ohio 11th congressional seat, succeeded by Miss Fudge, Marjorie Fudge. I'm sorry, my handwriting is not that good. By December 9th of 2020, the media began to report Joe Biden planned to nominate Mrs. Fudge as Secretary of HUD, which the same day Ms. Turner filed paperwork to register as the for the seat for the 11th congressional seat committee for federal for federal she supposed to be. Now 2010 Ms. Fudge was nomination, and it was officially by 5 days later Ms. Turner officially announced her congressional seat for the 11th congressional seat of Ohio, and pretty much now she's she's now she got a new position. But besides being a wife and mother, her son, her married to her husband Jeffrey, and her son Jeff Jr. She's also she's been doing a lot of stuff. She's since you know since 1998. She's been working uh, as a professor at the same college where she got her degrees, and she studies American history, African American history, women's American history, and also women's study. And also, Miss Turner works for CNN for a time as a contributor. She's also on Real News called the Nina Turner Show, and she's done other stuff like also she did an episode of that series Black Lightning. She played her own character on that show, but she did a lot over her career in her time. I mean, and she's an amazing woman. I've seen some stuff. She's been on, I've seen her on the news quite often. She's very strong, very political, and she reminds you of a certain like she might Shirley Chisholm. She's like the certain Chisholm of this millennium. And we need women like this, especially to represent our people. We need strong black women like this. And it's nice to get support like that. Just to represent our people, our culture, and to keep fighting like she is. And what we need that. And it's just one of these things, and one thing I think I think she believes in reparations too, especially she's being a progressive. But like I said, reparations, we're not going to get it anytime soon, black people. So that's a dream that's going to be somewhere long distance. But maybe someday, somebody who has no courage to put it up might happen. But anyway, I got a lot of respect for Miss Nina Turner. She's a great woman. She's a brave woman. And just one of those ladies that's going to always be a memory of our black history. You should be all the way at George Page. Don't subscribe. I'm out.